Namo Namaha Bhavatam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. Welcome back to my channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And continuing in a series, Learning Sanskrit through Gita, again we are picking up two shlokas together that we'll decode. That is the 17th and the 18th shloka of the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. So as always, I have the shlokas ready with me. Let me go through the shloka once. Kasyascha Parameshwasah Shikhandi cha Maharatha Dhrishtadyumno Viratascha Satyakischa Parajitah द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशस्पृथ्वीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुस् शंखान दद्मुः पृथक पृथक. So those were the two shlokas that we are going to decode today, and this here is the Sandhi Vichhed version of the shloka. So the words like Kashyascha, they split into Kashyahacha, then Dhrishtadyumno. This in actuality the word is Dhrishtadyumnah, but due to Sandhi, this Visarga, this changing to this O, Dhrishtadyumno. But all these Sandhi rules, everything, how they operate, what is the name of the Sandhi, everything is available as usual in the PDF file. You can download the free PDF from the link in the description box. And as always, I'll recommend that do download this PDF file. This has the complete breakdown of all the shlokas that we'll cover in the video and a little bit more information. So if I miss out anything in the video, all the Sandhi rules and everything that we don't cover in the video, everything is available in the PDF file in very simple terms. So do download that file, do go through it and keep it handy for your later references. Okay, so all these Sandhis and everything available in the PDF file. I'll just start with the decoding of the shlokas. And as always, we'll start with an anchor word. We generally prefer a verb, a kriya pad as an anchor word. So this dadmuhu, this is coming from here. Shankhan dadmuhu prathak prathak. So dadmuhu, this word, this we have already seen so many times in the previous shlokas. This comes from the verb root, the dhatu dhma. Dhma means to blow. And this blow is to blow in air as in to produce sound from the musical instruments. So the instruments like the brass instruments, flute, conches, all these instruments, when you blow in, it produces sound. So that, to blow. That is the dhatu, the verb root here, dhma. And this verb root dhma in third person, past perfect tense, that is lit lakar in Sanskrit. What is past perfect tense? Simply some action that happened long time back, in a long distant past. So in order to denote that, we use past perfect tense, that is lit lakar in Sanskrit. So in third person, lit lakar and plural, multiple people did the action, so plural. So due to all these properties, this verb root, it changes into dadmuhu. That simply means they all blew or they all sounded. That is the sense here. Immediately, a question is kan or what? Like they all blew, but what did they blew? What is the object here? And the object is shankhan dadmuhu. So this comes, you can already guess, this comes from the pratipadik, the base word shank. Okay, so shank dadmuhu, they blew the conch. But since here we are talking about multiple people, who have multiple conches. So we are talking about an object that is in plural, bahuvachan. So we will use the bahuvachan form. So shankhan. And this is again, you can already guess, in second case, right? Just as a similar kind of pratipadik ram, it will change into raman. So ramam, ramo, raman. Same as that, shankham, shankho, shankhan. So shankhan dadmu. They blew the conches. That is the sense here. And with this, we'll move forward. Immediately, another question is katham or how. So katham is an avya, indeclinable. We use it to ask how. How so? And the answer is prithak prithak. So this here, no, this word prithak, this actually again is an indeclinable and avya. And prithak, this simply means individually. So when we want to show the individuality, the separateness of something, we use this avya prithak. And prithak, like in Hindi also, no, we repeat that apna apna kaam karo. So in similar fashion, this has been used here, prathak prathak. So prathak prathak shankhan dadmu simply means individually and separately, all of them, they blew their respective conches. That is the sense up till here. And with this, I'll move on. And again, I'm asking the same question, punascha. So how else it has been described? The action has been described in the shloka. And the answer is sarvashaha. You see, it is coming from here. Sarvashaha shankhan dadmuhu prathak prathak. So sarvashaha again is an avya, an indeclinable. And sarvashaha simply means all together. So you can imagine how the action must have happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra Mahabharat. That the Pandava brothers and Krishna, they gave the cue to all the other Pandava warriors that, okay, we are also ready to begin the war. So when they blew the conches, all of the rest of the people present in the Pandava army, not just these names, all of them, they all together, they also blew their respective conches. So sarvashaha prathak prathak shankhan dadmuhu, simply meaning that all of them together individually they blew their dadmuhu, they blew their respective conches. That is the sense up till here. So now just the names are there, but the actual meaning of the shloka is this only, that all of them together they blew their respective conches individually. That is the sense of this entire shloka. But anyways, let's complete the shloka further also. So now I'm asking kaha, who. So one by one I'll ask this question who, so that we can cover all the different characters, different Pandava characters that are mentioned in the shloka. That's it. So we have our first character here, Saubhadra. Saubhadra simply means son of Subhadra. And who was the son of Subhadra? So it was Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu was the son of Arjuna and his wife Subhadra. So Saubhadra, he blew his respective conches, just like everyone else did. This Saubhadra, I hope you remember this. We encountered this word very early on in the beginning shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. Saubhadra, these kinds of words are known as apatya vachak sangya. Apatya vachak sangya simply means a noun that is derived from some other noun. So Saubhadra, you can already guess, this is derived from his mother's name Subhadra. So the descendant of Subhadra, the son of Subhadra, it is called Saubhadra. Just as descendant of Pandu, they are called as Pandava. Descendants of Kuru, they are called Kaurava. So this apatya vachak sangya, this is very commonly used and actually very helpful also, because even though you might not know Saubhadra, but you can already guess that okay, this is somewhat coming from Subhadra. So yeah, it gives you a bit of a sense here and there. So anyways, Saubhadra, Abhimanyu, and if I'll move on, so we also have an adjective that is present in the shloka to describe Abhimanyu, and this is this Mahabahu. Mahabahu, you can already guess, Maha. This means mighty, very great, and Bahu, this refers to arms. So mighty arms, or someone who has a very powerful arms. So this adjective is just being used to describe Abhimanyu, that he was a very powerful warrior. He was a very strengthy warrior. That's it. Okay, so let's move on. And again, same kind of question I will go on repeating again and again, just to cover all the characters. So Punaschikaha, and who else? And the second characters we get is Draupadeyaha. And again, you can guess, this is also an apatya vachak sangya. So derived from some noun. And you can already guess that this word Draupadeyaha, this is derived from Draupadi. So Draupadeyaha are the sons of Draupadi. And that's why, see, this is also in plural. Here, Saubhadra, this is in single form because only one son of Subhadra, that is Abhimanyu. But here, this is in plural form, Draupadeyaha. Just as Ram, it changes into Ramaha. So that plural form, because multiple sons of Draupadi. So all those sons of Draupadi, they also blew their respective conches. Okay, that is the sense here. And with this, I'll move on again. So you can see a similar question, Punaschikaha, and another character that is revealed, that is Drupad, referring to King Drupad. Who was King Drupad? He was one of the very powerful ally of Pandava army. Okay, and let's keep on moving on. Again, who else? So we have Satyaki. So again, Satyaki, we already saw him with another name, Yuyudhanaha, in again very early on shlokas. So Satyaki, Yuyudhan, same character. He was the chief of Narayani Sena that came from the Yadava clan, the Krishna's clan. So Satyaki, chief of Narayani Sena, he also joins the list of these characters. And if I'll move forward, again we also have an adjective in the shloka that is describing Satyaki further. And what is that adjective? That is Aparajitaha. So you can already guess the meaning of this name. Parajit. Parajit simply means someone who is defeated. Parajit. And if we'll add an A, so it will just negate the meaning. So Aparajit, someone who is undefeated, who is Ajeya, as we say in Hindi. So undefeated Satyaki. Okay, so before moving on, this Aparajit, this gave me an idea that when we negate words in Sanskrit, no. So you might have noticed that sometimes we add a, but sometimes we also add an. So a word like Parajit, that means defeated, if we want to negate its meaning, so we simply add an a. So the word becomes Aparajit, someone who is undefeated. But if we'll take an example of this word, Upalabdha. Upalabdha means available, someone or something that is available. And if we want to negate this word, so we don't add an a, we add an un. We add un. And the word becomes Anuplabdha. Anuplabdha simply means someone or something that is unavailable. Anuplabdha. Okay, so the difference is maybe quite obvious already, that all the words that start with an consonant. So Parajit, this is starting with an consonant pa. So in order to negate its meaning, we simply add an a. We add an a. but all the words that start with an swara, a vowel. So, this is a vowel, right? So, all the words that start with a vowel, in order to negate its meaning, we add an an. We add this an. So, that is the difference. Dvait. Dvait means duality. And if we add a, so it becomes advait, non duality. And similarly, you have avashyak. Avashyak simply means something that is necessary, avashyak. And since it starts with an vowel, a swara, so to negate, we use an an. So avashyak, it changes into anavashyak. Anavashyak, something that is not necessary. So this is how we negate the meaning of the word. This is actually one of the rule of samas. Samas we have not covered. Maybe in future videos we'll cover definitely. So it is one of the Naya Tat Purush Samas. So yeah, that was something I just wanted to share. Anyways, I'll just move on with our shloka. So again, similar question, Punascha kau. Why kau? Because now I'm going to reveal two people together. So kaha kau ke. Just using the dvivachan of this kaha, who. So Punascha kau and who to else? And the response is Drishtadyumna Viratah cha. So Drishtadyumna and Virat. Both of these characters we already know. These are the Pandava allies. Drishtadyumna, he was the son of Drupad, the twin brother of Draupadi, Drishtadyumna. And Virat, again, he was one of the king of one of the empire that was the allies of Pandava army. So King Virat. Okay, and just a few more characters left. Let us go through them also. Punaschikaha. And we have Shikhandi. Now this character Shikhandi, he has a very interesting story. He was a transgender character. So he was born a female, but then he turned into a male. So I might be digressing a bit here, but okay, I'll just quickly tell what is the backstory here. Bhishma Pitama, when he was younger, so in order for his brother Vichitra Virya, in order for him to get married, Bhishma Pitama, what he did, that he abducted the three daughters of Kashi king. And the three daughters were Amba, Ambike, Ambalika. These were the three daughters, and they were going to have their Swamvar ceremony, the ceremony in which the bride she chooses the groom for herself. So that Swamvar was happening, and Bhishma Pitama, he went there and he abducted all three daughters. That okay, you are going to marry my brother Vichitra Virya. In all these three daughters, Amba, she was the one who already had an love affair with one of the prince of some kingdom. I'm not remembering the name of that prince, but she already had an affair. So she requested Bhishma Pitama that let me go because I already am in love with some other guy. So why you are taking me for your brother and all? So anyways, afterwards, Bhishma Pitama, he let her go. But when she returned back to her kingdom, when she returned back to the guy who was her love affair, the guy, he rejected her now. So a lot of people in those times know they had this sort of mentality that okay, you are abducted, you are being touched by some other man and everything, so now you are spoiled. So anyways, that was very heartbreaking for Amba, that she had nothing to do. She was going to marry his prince. Bhishma Pitama came, he abducted her, then he let her go. When she came back, now this prince also is not accepting her. So out of blue, she had nothing. She has lost everything. So in order to take the revenge, she did quite a hard penance. And when the gods, they were impressed by her penance, so they asked that, okay, you may ask a boon from us. So Amba obviously asked that, I just want to take revenge from Bhishma Pitama. Due to his actions, my life is completely destroyed. And so guide me there. So the gods, they blessed her with a garland. And the condition was that whoever was wearing that garland, they can challenge Bhishma Pitama and they can defeat Bhishma Pitama. But the problem is that Bhishma Pitama's reputation was so huge, so mighty, that even after this boon from gods, no man, no person dared to wear that garland and go against Bhishma Pitama. So Amba, she could not find anyone who would fight for her. And she obviously could not fight, she could not physically challenge Bhishma Pitama. And no other person, no other man fought for her. So in lastly, she was very heartbroken. No one helped her. And in that despair, she just hung that garland in the front door of this King Drupad's kingdom. Now, King Drupad at that time was childless, and he was arranging this yajna he was arranging this ceremony so that he can be blessed with children. So, King Drupad, due to that ceremony, he was blessed with three children. And it is said that out of those three children, the eldest one was a daughter, Shikhandini, and that daughter is said was the rebirth of the same Amba. So Shikhandini, when she was born, even though she was born biologically a girl, but no one was very sure about her gender, that how to raise her, whether she's a boy, she's a girl. So this Shikhandini, she was raised as a boy, and later on when she realizes her identity, that she is a rebirth of Amba, and what's the backstory. So again, to with fuel with that anger, in order to be able to take the revenge, and later on with the help of a yaksha, she got converted into a male body, she got the male body. And that's how Shikhandini, that was born a girl, Shikhandini changed and become Shikhandi. And further down the line, during the battle of Mahabharat, we already know what happens, that the Shikhandi plays a very important role in the death of Bhishma Pitama. How so? That when everyone was fighting with Bhishma Pitama, none of the Pandava brothers, even Arjuna, they were able to defeat Bhishma Pitama. He was such a gallant warrior that he was not letting down his weapons and everything. And he was just, he kept on fighting and fighting. So he was not tiring and everything. And it was difficult for Pandava brothers that if Bhishma Pitama is standing, so they have no chance of winning the war. He is such a powerful character. And then Sri Krishna, he suggested that to Arjuna, that don't do anything, let Shikhandi stand in front of you. Let Shikhandi directly fight with Bhishma Pitama. And when Shikhandi came in front of Arjuna to fight with Bhishma Pitama, since Bhishma Pitama also knew the entire backstory of Shikhandi, he still was in this dilemma that no, she is born a woman, so she is a woman. And Bhishma Pitama, he was this character that if he believes in something, that is the end. He will not change that. So since he could not raise his arms against a woman, and he believed Shikhandi to be a woman, still a woman, so he dropped his weapons. And as soon as Bhishma Pitama, he lowers his weapons, Krishna advises Arjuna that this is your chance. Now take a shot, because otherwise you're not never going to defeat Bhishma Pitama. And then Arjuna takes a shot and he wounds and almost he kills Bhishma Pitama. So, but that is the backstory of Shikhandi. Actually, this Shikhandi character we did not saw in previous shlokas. This just came in this particular shloka. And interesting backstory, no? So that's why I just said, okay, let's discuss him, Shikhandi. So this Shikhandi, this comes from the base, the Pratipadik, Shikhandin. This is a Nakarant word and this is a masculine gender word, Shikhandin. In the first case, single form, this Shikhandin, it changes into Shikhandi. And just referring to the character we just talked about. So Shikhandi, he also blew the conch. So moving forward, again, Kidrishaha, what like? And he's being described as he's given the title Maharatha. So Maharatha again was one of the titles that were given to mighty warriors, brave warriors. So a very great warrior, that is the sense here, a very great warrior, Shikhandi. So the last character, Punashchika, this is the last character we have, Kashya. Kashya simply is referring to king of Kashi kingdom. And in the shloka, he is described as Parameshwasaha. So Parameshwasa is composed of these two words, Param plus Ishwasaha. So this word Param, we use this word in order to denote that someone's skill is of highest order. And Ishwasaha simply means archer. So Param plus Ishwasa, it combines into Parameshwasaha. And this simply means archer of a highest skill, a very skillful archer. And who is this referring to? This is referring to Kashya, that is king of Kashi. This is how he is described in the shloka. A highly skillful archer. That is it. Okay, and with this, we have covered the entire shloka. Again, as I said, very simple shloka. Let's quickly start with the translation also. So, Anvay, very simple. You will have the name. So, skillful archer, king of Kashi. Then you have Maharat Shikhandi. Then you have Drishtadyumna. Then you have King Virat. Then you have the undefeated Satyaki, that is Yuyudhana. Then you have King Drupad. Then you have Draupadeyaha, that is referring to the sons of Draupadi. Then you have Mahabahu Saubhadra. Saubhadra is referring to son of Subhadra, that is Abhimanyu. And he is described as Mahabahu, someone with an mighty arms, very powerful arms. And then you have the main line, the main theme of the shloka. Sarvashaha, all together, Prathak Prathak, individually, separately, Shankhan Dadmu. Dadmu, they all blew. What did they blew? They blew their respective Shankh. They blew their respective conches. All these people, they blew their respective conches. That is the entire meaning of this shloka. So yeah, that's it. And I'll see you in the next shloka, in the next video. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy. Vayam punah milamaha. Dhanyavad.